Hey, what's up everybody? It's Connor here from Geek on Your Face, and after those string of other types of videos, we're going to be getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium Duels here, and we're going to be getting back into it with a best decks, and this best deck is an Evol deck, or Evol. I have no idea how to say it, but it consists of a lot of monsters that, or at least the main boss type monsters, they consist on negating, so this is a good deck for, it's like an anti-meta deck sort of thing, where it can negate a lot of effects and stop a lot of combos midway, that sort of thing. It's really useful deck, and I would definitely recommend it. It has a lot of different versatility, and that's pretty much the name of the game in this kind of a deck, is versatility. Having a variety of combos for a bunch of certain situations, just that sort of thing that can always, you know, it's a good deck when you are in a situation and you have options. That's when you know that a deck that you've constructed has potential, when you can have various answers for any given situation. If you only have one play to make all the time, then generally speaking, it's going to be harder to make that play, right? But if you have multiple plays that you can make, such as with this deck, there are multiple plays that you can make, it turns out a lot better most of the time. So I set Evol Yugioh, I think his name is, which is a key monster in this deck, might be one of the most important monsters in this deck, and he only has 2,000 defense points, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use Forbidden Lance on the Nova Master, and I'm going to save him so I can be taking advantage of his effect, which allows you to special summon one Evol monster from your deck whenever he's tributed. So I'm going to tribute him using Mini Guts, which allows me to target one of my opponent's monsters and make its attack 0. Also, if that monster is destroyed during this turn, I get to inflict damage to my opponent of its original attack, so that would be 2,600, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to special summon Evol Serato. When he is special summoned by an Evol monster, he gains 200 attack, and whenever he destroys an opponent's monster by battle, I can also search my deck for an Evol monster and put it into my hand. So this is going to be really damaging for him. I'm going to be able to do 2,100 with just my monster's attack, and then because of Mini Guts' effect, I'm also able to do another 2,600 for the original attack of the monster that I destroyed. I see here I'm going to pick an Evol monster, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go get Evol Westlow. You only want to pick Yugioh if you have something that can make him be tributed right away, so that way you can get the full amount effect of him, you know, 100%. And I could have XYZ'd before this, but this just means that I gained the most amount of effects. It was the optimal play, I think, for this turn, using Serato's effect and getting the damage done that way instead of just XYZing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get Evol Yugioh. This allows me to negate a spell or trap card activation, or stop a normal or special summon by discarding 2 XYZs from that card. Now this is very good, and especially against an opponent like this that relies on polymerization and stuff like that, different forms of special and normal summoning. It's a very good card to have in this case, and it's just going to be a matter of time before you can swarm your field with your Evol monsters and your Evol monsters, your XYZ monsters, which is the main focus of the deck, is having a bunch of Evol monsters on the field, so that you can pretty much negate anything that your opponent tries to do and keep their field empty once you've gotten it that way in the first place. So you see here he tries to get back a card using one of his trap cards, and I negate that so that my field is probably going to be clear the next time I need it to be. I get a Mystical Space Typhoon, might as well take care of that card in his back row, and I'm also going to flip Evol Westlow, which allows me to special summon one Evol monster from my deck, excuse me. Now, a great thing about the Evol monsters is they're not level specific, so I could summon any Evol monster I wanted, regardless of its level. Sometimes they do have effects, which we'll go into in the recipe portion, that can make this a good or bad thing. But I'm going to get Evol Volcano. When he is special summoned by an Evol monster, you can pick one Evol monster in a graveyard and special summon it. So I'm going to do that so I can get another XYZ out, and I'm going to pick Evol Dolka, not that it matters because his field is completely empty. Evol Dolka is a negation card, once again, like all the Evol monsters are. It's a negation for effect, monster effects, so basically what it allows you to do is, if a monster effect would ever be activated, you can take one XYZ material off of Evol Dolka and you can negate it and destroy it. So it's really awesome at getting big monsters with effects out of the way of the field. So that was it, pretty easy. We're going to go in the recipe portion of the video. We have Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. That's because it's really a weak point of the Evols, that they have low attack power and not a lot of removal / destruction, so that's where Blaster helps in that category. And we are going to have 2 Evolsaur Soratos. We went over his effect in the duel. You saw it firsthand, how devastating that he can be if you give him the chance. Evolsaur Darwino, this is a level modifier. He's very, very useful when you're trying to aim for those higher up XYZs. He can be very, very useful. Evolsaur Diplo, this is one of the removal Evol monsters of the very few that there are. Evolsaur Elias, he can let you special summon one level 6 or lower fire dinosaur type monster from your hand, so he's good to combo to get a level 6 XYZ. Evolsaur Volcano, this is the one that we went over near the end of the duel. It lets you get an Evolsaur from your graveyard. Evoltal Najasho, if this card on the field is tributed, you can special summon one Evolsaur monster from your deck. This is why he is one of the best cards in the deck. We'll go over that later. You saw Westlow's effect during the duel, pretty straightforward. Max C, very good at making your opponent not want to special summon and swarm the field. Enemy Controller, you're going to be using the second effect, which makes you tribute and then take control of one of your opponent's monsters. You can use that in combination with Najasho to still get one of his Evolsaur monsters that he lets you summon. Evo Diversity, your Searcher. Evil Force, you want to use this with Najasho to get 2 Evolsaur monsters. Very, very, very useful card with Najasho. Can be combined super easily with him. Not a lot to be said there besides that. Forbidden Lance allows you to keep your Evolsaur safe because of their weak attack points for the most part. Pretty good card in here. Mini Guts, you saw the combo that you can do with that. That's going to be the optimal combo that you want to use with Mini Guts. That's great at getting rid of boss monsters on your opponent's side of the field. Mystical Space Typhoon, pretty self-explanatory. It's a staple in most decks called Haunted. Staple in some decks, Mirror Forest, staple in some decks, once again. Solemn Warning, almost a staple in every deck. In the extra deck, we have Evolsaur Dolka. We went over his effect. He's a very awesome card for negating a lot of swarming type decks. Evolsaur Lagia, awesome for decks that support a lot of their cards with spell and trap cards. He's very good at disrupting that. Very, very useful there. Evolsaur Solda, this is awesome in a special summon deck, which it allows you to negate a special summon if you detach one XYZ material. Now, we're not really going to go over a lot of these other XYZs because they're just supporting XYZs, really. I'm not going to go over their effects. You can just see what I put in here, and for the most part, the other cards in your extra deck, you can kind of fill in with what you want. That's going to be it for the Evol deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. So leave a like, and I don't usually ask for that, but whatever, I'm out of time. Bye!